Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Aslan Hajivandi. That side. That's Matt LaSerre, recruiting reporter for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. Hit the thumbs up. We certainly would appreciate it. Subscribe as well. It's only $1 for 2 months. FSU1. That's the promo code. All right, Matt. I'm ready to get on a plane here in Jacksonville, Florida. Our flight has been delayed, but we're going to get to Chicago here shortly. We think, fingers crossed. And listen, man, Corey Clark and myself already have 2 shows in the bag for Wake Up Warchant because we're like, what's going to really happen news-wise? Well, it turns out here on Thursday morning, Florida gives kind of a vote of confidence to Billy Napier, saying that he's going to be their head coach moving forward, seemingly. And then our own Steve Wiltfong from the On3 network here drops a Fong bomb and says that he's got a prediction of a Tramell Jones, longtime Florida State commit, going possibly to the Gators. I mean, is that something that's around the corner? Have you heard any pushback on that? What's been your takeaway as soon as this information of Napier remaining the head coach and then now Jones maybe being on the fence dropped?
Yeah, so I think it's important here to know the context of the situation. You go look, Wilt Fong also dropped a story with it, and it was like a calling your shot kind of story. It didn't really sound like this was a right away thing. If you read what he said it's just there is momentum from Florida. That is true. Michael reported that a few days ago. We both kind of got wind of that. But he said, I think Florida State will have trouble down the stretch keeping him. So that's not something saying it's happening right now. It's coming. There's still some work to do here from both sides, right? Like Florida's still going to push, but Florida State's still going to push as well. He hasn't really taken visits to Florida. He's been to almost every Florida State game, I believe. So again, there's still hope here. Like this isn't he's going to Florida, freak out right now. I understand that because the graphic just says he's flipping to Florida. That's all you see on Twitter. This is why you need to subscribe, everyone. You need to get the premium content to see the context behind everything. But again, let's wait a little bit. But I also do see the backup plan, and I do think it's not the end of the world if he does flip.
All right. Well, the door is ajar, it sounds like. Just first off, though, I mean, in your opinion, and speaking to Michael and other people in the circles, like, is Jones still a priority for Florida State? Is he still like the quarterback they want from this class, in your opinion?
I think so. I think he's the number one guy. I don't see anyone else being the number one guy because, I mean, they brought in Carter Smith. This was last year. Carter Smith, who was a Michigan commit at the time. He recently decommitted with Michigan, flirting with Bryce Underwood and all that kind of stuff. But he was their backup option at the time. They brought him in for one visit, but that was it. Nothing really came of that after the fact. It was just known as Tramell kept flirting with Florida. I mean, this happened all summer, right? We were talking about this. This was a big topic over the summer, that if anything happened, this was their next guy while he was committed to Michigan. And I still think, again, he just decommitted. So you still have a shot there, and they have shown interest. I'm still working on getting in contact with him to kind of gauge it. And I think once we do get in contact with him, that could tell a lot of the story of what Florida State really thinks is going on with Tramell here. Of if they've been pushing super hard, they probably think Tramell's going to leave. If it's just kind of a call here, say, what's up, man? How have you been doing? Then it's probably they're still confident in Tramell. But in general, that's the backup guy.
And Tramell battling an injury, is he going to miss his senior season here at Mandarin, or is he expected back? And I think he was on a scooter when he was at Florida State here recently, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's out for the season. He put a note up when he first went out that it sounded like, I think he ended with 1 out. So I assume that means he's done for the season. Yeah, he was on the scooter. So, and I just wondered, obviously Billy Napier, Florida has no momentum with him coming back. That could play a big deal. I mean, Florida hasn't looked bad, right? It's better than 1-8. That's not hard to say, but
I guess it was. So they've looked. I mean, I don't know. What are we trying to think? It's hard to put ourselves in the mind of a 17-year-old, but I guess Florida hasn't looked as bad as Florida State. But I feel like Norvell's buyout is much more secure in him staying around in Tallahassee than any sort of vote of confidence Scott Strickland gives Billy Napier on a Thursday afternoon. But I digress. I guess to your point, yeah, Florida has looked a little bit more competitive against some better competition here of late.
So, I mean, and I texted with Ira a little bit about this too. I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me if he were to flip now, because at first, at both schools, his path to starting isn't really clear, right? DJ Lagway is a hard guy to beat out at Florida, especially when he's starting as a freshman. At FSU, it was like, well, you probably have a little bit of a chance since you're a year later than Luke and all that kind of stuff. But now you look at these Florida State quarterbacks and you'd think you would like have more of an opportunity there, right? Because it's just, you don't really know. It's up in the air. They could go to the portal. They could stay with it. Tramell could be lights out in spring and fall camp if he were to still come and win the job. Like, I think that job's up for grabs completely. So again, that's all these factors. There's no done deal here. And also another point I wanted to bring up is, say you don't get a quarterback this class at all. Like, say you don't get Tramell and then you don't get Carter. Yeah, everyone freaks out. But you took Trevor Jackson last year, and he had 2 quarterbacks and as a preferred walk-on. And would you look at that? Now there's a quarterback scholarship open, and the line of succession is still there. He's getting his red shirt because there's less than 4 games left. Luke burns it. You still have the whole succession there. So I think there's like a little less of a reason to freak out than we all are freaking out for.
All right, there we go. Listen, everybody, have a good weekend. Enjoy it. Florida, I think they're going to shock the world now, Matt, because bad things happen in threes, and I got hosed on my sub at Publix last night. I didn't have avocado on my breakfast sandwich I ordered this morning, and then my flight got delayed here in Jacksonville. So I think I got all the bad juju out for all of Nole Nation.
Does that mean there's a win coming?
Just saying. Just saying, man. Thanks for the context and the clarification. Matt LaSerre, Michael Langston got you covered on all things Florida State recruiting over on the premium recruiting board of Warchant.com. Again, it's only $1 for 2 months. That's going to take you through the early signing period, the transfer window, and probably a hot board with a lot of coaches' names on it as Florida State tries to dig themselves out of this hole this season. Matt, we appreciate you taking time out to do this, man.
Thank you. Enjoy your flight.
I'll try, man. Hit the thumbs up on the way out, everybody. We appreciate it. Have a great one.